and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Marianne Williamson. Now, she lost 2 campaign officials in a matter of days. Now, we talked about this on RBN with Stu Dissidents. Marianne Williamson, the top 2 campaign officials for her presidential candidacy, resigned over the weekend. So Jason Call, the campaign's deputy manager, told Politico on Monday that he left Williamson's team on Friday. That came after campaign manager Peter Dow announced last Saturday on Twitter that he was leaving the campaign after much consideration about 1 month into the job. I wonder if Kyle Kulinski or Breaking Points will talk about this. Probably not. Probably won't. So, what I find interesting, a Williamson campaign staffer confirmed to Politico that Dow and Call left the campaign, but said it was mutually agreed upon decision after Williamson's campaign leaned into a more progressive direction. The campaign is just moving in a different direction. That's a lie. A Williamson campaign staffer granted anonymity to discuss campaign dynamics, told Politico. So that means this person was afraid to give their name. The staffer elaborated that Dow comes from a background of what you would call traditional Democrat politics, and Marianne was looking for something a bit more innovative. He probably got yelled at, and I'll be talking about that. In an interview with Politico, Dow said it's categorically false that the campaign was too progressive for him. He declined to talk about any other internal campaign discussions or decision-making. Now, it was Russell from Due Dissidents who brought up the fact that he probably, Peter Douche, probably signed an NDA. So that means he can't talk about it. And he can't really defend his name. So that means the Marianne Williamson campaign just told him to shut up. There was probably something that took place there that maybe Peter and Dow and Call, didn't like. They probably saw maybe another side of Marianne Williamson that wasn't too cash money, and they decided to leave the sinking ship. Now, we all know Peter Douche, worked for John Kerry's campaign in 2004 as a communications advisor. He was the head of Hillary Clinton's 2008 online operation and was dedicated Clinton advocate in 2016. And then again, if you wonder why Bernie Sanders' campaign was an absolute failure, this dude was with Bernie Sanders' camp in 2020. 2020. This guy has a track record of losing. An absolute loser. John Kerry lost. Hillary Clinton, not once, but twice lost. Bernie, being the cuck, lost. Peter Dow, you suck. You suck at your job, baby. When Dow joined the Williamson campaign, he said that her campaign was the best opportunity to fight against a corrupt political system. Bullshit. A theme that Williamson often discusses on the campaign trail. Oh, we'll be talking about that. And now, since resigning, he's talking about third parties, which sounds great. Sounds great. Jason Call, who was running as a Green Party candidate for Washington's 2nd Congressional District, declined an interview request for this story. Call announced on Twitter that the Green Party raised money for a filing fee the day after his resignation, but he has not officially declared it with the FEC. There was an NDA that was signed. Now, all of you are probably saying, well, gee, Kit, maybe you're just reaching too far. Maybe, sir, you're just, you're not seeing just how serious Marianne Williamson is as a candidate. So I want to pull up this tweet from Marianne Williamson. This it seems like something a high schooler would write. You're running for president, but okay. To the, oh, she's not a serious candidate crowd. I take seriously that America has the highest poverty rate of any advanced democracy. It's been that way for a while, Marianne. I take seriously that 1 in 4 Americans live with medical debt. Yes, and the Democratic Party is responsible for that too. But you're not going to challenge them. I take seriously that tens of millions of Americans live with over $1 trillion of college loan debt just so that greedy financial institutions can leech off young people's desire to become educated and better their lives. To which I have to say, Marianne, people like Joe Biden helped create that neoliberal nightmare. You know, remember, we got to vote for Joe Biden to stop Trump. Yeah, he's one of the many architects that made student debt what it is. Don't go to college in America, kids. All right. The next generation coming up. Look, if you want to go to a university, go to a university overseas. You'll have to plan it out, and it'll be a long journey to get there, but you could do it. But if you want to be in debt slavery and pay off a debt for the rest of your lives, go to college here in the United States, but you will not get anything returned back to you. Now, if you got a scholarship that will pay for 4 or 5 years, run with that. But in all reality, if you want to get a higher education, go overseas. Go to a community college. Go to a trade school. Learn an apprenticeship program. Break the college industrial complex. Break the chains of debt slavery. Gen Z and the next generation after, it might be too late for millennials and Gen Xers and boomers, but it's not too late for you. Maybe you are the ones that can say F you to college here in the United States. It's not designed to enlighten or educate you. It's designed to keep you in debt slavery. Simple as that. She goes on to say, I take seriously about ramping down fossil fuel extraction. Yeah, everyone said that. So, you know, she's kind of upset. And then, of course, I take seriously the threats to democracy posed by neo-fascism, attacking it from the outside, and neoliberalism eroding it from the inside. People like Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, AOC, Bernie Sanders. Yeah, they're the ones doing that, Marianne. But I also want to pull up this article here. It's from March of this year. The perfect irony of Marianne Williamson's anti-anger audiobook. The self-proclaimed bitch of God has written and spoken extensively about how to deal with anger. I'm not sure her method is working. And maybe that's what Jason and Peter saw. A side of Marianne Williamson that made them realize, oh, she's kind of crazy. She may not be all up there. She might be pretty violent. And that is something that would probably scare a lot of people. It would scare me. Now, let's talk more about this. On Thursday, Politico reported that Democratic presidential hopeful Marianne Williamson, contrary to her reputation as a warm and fuzzy spiritual guru, has been accused of being an abusive boss. Due Dissidents did a fantastic video yesterday, so please be sure to check out their YouTube channel after the show, of course. The outlet spoke to 12 people who worked for Williamson's 2020 campaign. Hey, any of those 12 people who were working for Williamson's campaign, or anybody else who was part of Marianne Williamson's campaign for 2020, are you with her 2024 campaign? Yeah, probably not. And describes someone who is prone to unpredictable, explosive episodes of anger that reportedly went far beyond the typical stress of a grueling presidential cycle. Oof. Ouch. No bueno. Politico alleged that Williamson threw her phone at staffers, screamed at them until they cried, and once pounded her hand on a car door so hard that it swelled and she had to go to urgent care. Williamson did not deny the latter incident, but offered as a defense that a car door is not a person. How much you want to bet when she slammed her head? She said, or slammed her hand. She said, next time that's going to be your face. True. Staffers told Politico that Williamson frequently mocked overweight people. Williamson, you make fat jokes? What's wrong with you? And other aspects of staffers' physical appearances. So she bullies people. In addition, she allegedly made staffers sign non-disclosure agreements. That was what Peter and Jason signed. That's why they can't say anything. To dissuade them from exposing her behavior, as well as an occasional cab driver or service driver she berated. Man, hey, listen. If you were a cab driver or an Uber driver and you had Marianne Williamson in your car, reach out to Hard Lens Media. I want to hear your story. According to the report, minor inconveniences like getting booked in a hotel room with a shower instead of a bathtub could set her off. Behold, the president of the next president of the United States, somebody who just doesn't have a bathtub. She gets a shower. Too bad. Stand up and shower. I cannot shower. I need a bath. Williamson disputed the report and several details within it, but whispers of angry behavior have followed her around for decades. Oprah, what kind of monster did you put upon the American people? The publication linked to several news stories from 1992 when she first rose to fame that made similar allegations describing her as a tyrant with explosive temper. Not exactly what you expect to hear about a figure whose central message is about empathy and the power of choosing love over fear. Then again, she did once call herself Bitch of God. It doesn't get any more ironic than pinning charges of cruelty on Williamson, who has written and spoken at length about how love is the only thing that'll save us. In 2019, I hate people who talk like that. Love is the only thing that'll save us. Get the frick out of here. In a 2019 Democratic debate, she addressed then President Trump by saying, Mr. President, if you're listening, you have harnessed fear for political purposes, and only love can cast that out. I'm going to harness love for political purposes, and sir, love will win. I got to stop from swearing. Love will win. Hey, folks, do you think love will win? Type 1 for yes, Kit. Love will always win. Love will win. Let's all smoke a peace pipe. Let's all freaking just hold together, make rose crowns and everything else, you know, put that on our heads. Let's all just dance and skip in the fields. Love will win. Type 1 for yes. Type 2, man. Don't you ever talk about love winning again, or I'll smack you. I will smack you, sir. One of her signature campaign promises was to create a Department of Peace. That is the biggest load of crap right there. But it's one thing to read an article about Marianne Williamson being aggressive, being mean. But I want to pull up a video that we covered a few months ago. Here's Marianne Williamson and her explosive temper.
Yes, so I concur with a lot of things that you said. One, I ran for office, and I'm running yet again against the king maker, James Clyburn. But my attitude, if you're the king maker, then your district should be living like royalty, and they're not. So I know exactly how they try to shame you, exclude you, and slander your name. And my thing is this: we as Americans need to go back home, okay? When did we start worrying? Well, see, I'm a Black American delegate.
Now, again, pay very close attention to her body language. She is very close to him, and she's listening. I'm not going to play all of the videos, but you're going to see the infamous Marianne Williamson breakdown and meltdown. Now, I interviewed this gentleman, Marcel Dixon, who is running for Congress. And you could check out that full interview on Hard Lens Media after the show, of course. But it's something all of you should be aware of. Just pay close attention to how Marianne Williamson is moving around. She's very close to him, but you'll notice it very soon. Just her mask fall off.
We've always had to stand up and fight for everything. And I know you was talking about how things used to be. Well, I was born, my great-great-grandparents are still alive. My great-grandparents were all still alive except one. And they told me the good.
And again, shout out to the live stream audience. You guys are also noticing her facial features too. And again, this is a small crowd. A small crowd. You cannot look me in the face and say that no one would use this against Marianne Williamson.
Good old days for y'all weren't good old days for them. So they're used to having to fight and be slandered and be excluded and be denigrated. I want to thank you for being, and I'm going to say this because they have to say man enough. I'm going to thank you, a woman, for being man enough to do not what's popular, not what's easy, yes, but what's right. Yes. And you're running on a reparations platform. And that's the right thing to do. Now, I do want to give you some pointers, if you're open to it, about your reparations plan, because I face all kinds of backlash, which I gladly accept. I'm here for it. My ancestors who were fighting in these rice marshes and swamps didn't back down to this backlash. I will be an insult to my great-grandmother who died at 101 if I back down because of people saying mean things to me. One, reparations comes from the federal government. It does not come from your tax dollars. America pays reparations every single day. They're paying it to the Ukrainians right now. They're paying it when they take care of people in the country illegally and going to the truth. They paid it to the Japanese Americans who were interned. Even though my great-grandfather helped to save the Jews from the Nazis, He came back to America and he was locked out of the GI Bill, which gave trillions of dollars to mainly white veterans that they say built the middle class. And yet those same Jews right now are getting reparations. People in
Wait, I have to stop you. I am a Jew. What Jews right now are getting?
Now, that's what set her off. That's what set her off. Now, hold on, folks. It gets better. I got another video for you. Just another one. In fact, you'll have two. Here, more of the anger. Again, it all leads to build up. And as I was interviewing Marcel Dixon, he did mention in the interview that he did speak to staffers after this event. All of them were polite and, yes, apologetic for Williamson's behavior.
Jews right now getting reparations.
The Jews were Holocaust survivors.
That was true. What?
The Jews were Holocaust survivors.
But they're not getting reparations from the American government.
No, they're not. What the American government did in 2014 agreed to facilitate a $12 million payback to Holocaust survivors.
That had nothing to do with the U.S. government giving
No,
money
the
to the
U.S.
Jews.
government did facilitate that payback.
And again, this is a town hall for supporters, and she is going back and forth yelling at somebody. You know, I mean, if this was going to be such a very interesting issue, what she should have done was say, okay, I would like to talk to you more about this after the town hall for a one-on-one sit down, something like that, right? Because the way she's handling this, and you will see as the video plays on, it is completely unprofessional. And if you're sitting here listening to if the people sitting here listening to Marianne Williamson's campaign and her talks, how much you want to bet a lot of them were not convinced to support her anymore after this little meltdown?
Facilitation is with an administrative Germany.
Okay.
Germany paid reparations.
Well,
to
so
the
my
Jewish
point is, though,
organization.
but
The
my
United
point,
States did not pay
but
reparations.
the United States government facilitated, and the point still exists. Me, a descendant of American slaves, haven't seen a penny yet. At the end of slavery, and I know you probably know these numbers, $42 to $84 trillion was the value of those of us who were enslaved. And I like the fact that you're running on reparations, but you have $1 trillion as the amount, and that is insultingly low. And I understand that you may have to make it palatable because to the American public, but if we want to do what's right, we got to do what's right. And the amount that we are owed is at $70 trillion minimum. If you just do $1 trillion, they said in the 20th century, Black Americans lost $400 billion in just land theft alone. That doesn't go to Jim Crow. That doesn't go to being left on the Homestead Act that gave white Americans $10 trillion and 300 acres. So I love the fact that we're running a reparations plan, but your plan is going to have to get those numbers right. It's got to be lineage based, and the money needs to go directly to us. Because when the Japanese Americans got their money, it didn't go to a council, it went straight to them. Those Holocaust survivors, that money goes straight to them.
That's right.
We deserve to have even more so.
Yeah, so let me say a couple of things. First of all, I honor how you stand up for your ancestors, and I stand up for mine. The United States has not paid $1 of reparations to Jews for the Holocaust. That is number one. And by the way, as far as some of the things you said about Roosevelt, which was true about history of the Black people, he didn't do well by the Jews during the 2 years when Hitler said they could still leave. So I will not stand here while anti-Semitic tropes are repeated. That's
not anti-Semitic.
No,
That's the
Richard,
truth.
That's the truth.
That's the truth.
Hold on. The fight still continues on. It gets better. Far, far better. Way better.
That's not anti-Semitic. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth.
And notice now she's far away from him. Far away from him now.
Holocaust survivors are getting reparations. That is not anti-Semitic. That's the truth. And I will continue to do so. And standing up for my ancestors means speaking the truth. Holocaust survivors did get 14 trillion facilitated. That is a fact. That is a fact. I don't know what it meant. All I know that
Right. So here we see her yelling and running towards him now. Just to yell. You're there for your campaign and convince the people in this town hall of yours that you're the better candidate. We're gonna, boy, I paused at the perfect time too. She looks like she's gonna deck him. I mean, this is the angry Marianne Williamson. This is the anger. All right. And all of you could check out my full interview with Marcel Dixon. I'm going to clip this video. And of course, I'm going to have the original link to the video where I interviewed him. And all of you could hear about his firsthand account as well. So we're going to rewind that and see her come charging at him. Because originally, in the first 2 videos, she was close to him, very close. And then slowly started backing away until we get to video 3. And she is all the way at the end of this little auditorium. So we're going to rewind that. We're going to rewind it and see her come charging at him, angrily yelling at a supporter.
I'll continue to do so and standing up for my ancestors means speaking the truth. Holocaust survivors did get 14 trials facilitated. That is a fact. That is a fact. I don't know what it meant. All I know that my ancestors have not gotten a penny. My ancestors have not gotten a penny. That's all I know. And it's an insult for the American government to facilitate a facilitation of payment to Holocaust survivors while my great-grandfather is still alive and he fought to save the Jews from the Nazis.
Excuse me. It is because I'm Jewish that I feel so strongly about reparations.
And I feel strongly about reparations for my people too.
Grapentine types in the live stream chat, I would not want Marianne Williamson to be my mom. Oh, dude. Oh, dude, you'd be catching hands 24/7 from Marianne Williamson. You accidentally fart around here, you're going to get a frying pan thrown at you. You burp, oh, you're going to cinder block right into the gut. You pick your nose, she's going to tie you to the middle of the road and run you over with her expensive car. Oh, wait. No, she'll hire somebody to run you over because she don't drive. Yeah, you'll be catching hands quick. Grapentine.
Germany paid $89 billion in reparations to Jewish organizations long before 2014.
Soul Construct writes, she was wishing he was a car door right now.
The fact that I am from a people who was wronged and to whom Germany paid reparations, the fact that I am aware as a Jew that even though reparations doesn't mean the Holocaust didn't happen, and more than reparations to mean slavery didn't happen, reparations paid by Germany to the Jewish organizations that were not directed to Jews, they were to Jewish organizations, has gone far to establish not only financial restitution, but also emotional and psychological healing between Germany and the Jews of Europe.
Right here.
That is what, right here. So,
Obama administration has awarded $12 million for assistance to Holocaust survivors. This happened in October 2015. I don't lie, and I know my information.
You know what, Mark, this is not right. This is not right. Actually, I'm more than glad to
You cut me off. I was talking, and you cut me off saying it was anti-Semitic. That's not what it was. I was telling the truth. I was telling the truth. You cut me off and accused me of being anti-Semitic. I'm speaking for my answers. I'm telling the truth, and I don't care who doesn't want to hear it.
The United States is not given $1.
Well, the facts disagree with you. The facts disagree with you.
I like how she's again so far away. So there's plenty more videos, and yes, I did a video segment and an interview with Marcel Dixon a few months ago of this year, and all of you can check that out. But again, this just shows the underlying problems with Williamson and her campaign. There are reports of anger and violence. There are reports of violence and abuse. There are reports of madness and insanity. And so it does call into question, and maybe I'll just end it with this question to you, the audience. Let's have democracy in the chat. With Peter Dow and Jason Call both leaving her campaign, how much more energy is left in Williamson's campaign afterwards? How much longer does she have? Type 1 for, oh, kid, she's going to stay in the primary for some time. She's going to be good. She's here to stay. Type 2, I give it a year and she's done. Type 3, 6 months. Type 4, this ship is sinking. It's going to be over very soon. I'm interested to see your thoughts. Type them in the comment section below. This election cycle is going to be entertaining. I promise you that. Tune in to Hardlands Media to learn more.